Good morning guys, and welcome back to my channel. So if you watched my other video, you'd remember that I bought a new 2010 Toyota Prius, and there's a few things, as with any car, that I want to do to it just to make it more my car and more comfortable for me to drive around and use as a daily car. One of the things I want to change on this thing is the light output and all the other lights on the car. It does have halogen projectors, but they really suck, and they're that ugly yellow color, which I really don't like. I like having the white HID color look to it, so I plan on changing out these halogen projector bulbs to some HID bright white bulbs, which also means I'll have to change out the halogen yellow bulbs. I'll probably just change those out to a white halogen bulb. I'm not going to change those to projectors or anything. The thing about this car is, unfortunately, the projectors are just for the low beams, so I'll have a HID kit for the low beams, and I'll just have a white halogen bulb for the high beams, but that'll be totally okay. Something else that I don't like are these yellow interior lights. So I really don't like the yellow light. I like having the bright white light, so I'm going to try and change out all the interior lights to the bright white LED lights. I'm also thinking about doing some footwell lighting. I had a Ford Fiesta that had some footwell lighting, and you know, you could change all the colors and everything. And I actually thought it was really cool. It was actually really handy. So I'm thinking about doing some white footwell lighting too, and linking that into it. I'm also going to be changing out the license plate lights to bright white LEDs. And then I may or may not change out the tail lights too. They're actually really bright, and they kind of look like LEDs as it is, even though they're just halogen bulbs. But I might do those too. As for today though, I'm not going to do the headlights quite yet. That is going to be in the plan, and that'll really help the light output, because the light output right now really sucks. But I had some LED pods that I bought on Amazon a while back laying around, so I figured might as well put them to use and throw them on the car. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be throwing these on the Prius. I wasn't 100% sure how to mount them, so I was kind of looking online and looking at a few mounting options. I thought about just making my own brackets, but then I came across... Now, I thought this guy was really cool because it's just a license plate mount. I went ahead and took the license plate mount off of the Prius already. So this guy just mounts right on top right here. The top two holes line up, but my license plate mount doesn't have any holes on the bottom. I think there's a little bit of room to throw a rib nut in there so that I can have two bottom mounting holes too, because this thing is a solid piece of metal and is actually pretty hefty. So I don't really want to just rely on these top two holes. If anything, because there's a little bit of gap, I can zip tie it on, but it'll look more professional and be better mounted if I throw some rib nuts in here. But I just thought that was really cool, because most of the time I'm usually throwing it behind the grill or something like that. So when I sell the car, usually I don't take them off. I just let it go with the car. With this mount, you can actually take it off and transfer it to another car, even though I don't plan on selling this car anytime soon. But the option's always there, so that if I do end up buying another car, because you never know, it might happen, I can always just take it off and transfer it to another car, instead of tearing the whole thing apart again. And because I've had these LED light pods for a while, I actually installed some weatherproof connectors on these a while ago, and I pre-crimped them so they're ready to go. So it should be a really easy job, should go pretty fast. Now these LED light pods don't draw all that much power, so I'm just gonna be tapping into the brights. The wiring should be more than enough to run these guys. That's what I do with most of the lights I throw on anyways, is I link them to the brights. You can just turn your brights on, it turns those on, and it just makes it really easy. I was thinking about this time maybe throw in a auxiliary button, just so I can turn them off, so that if I ever want to turn the brights on without those turning on, I can. Honestly, I probably won't do that, just because if I have the brights on, I probably want these on for extra light anyways, so I'm just going to leave them linked together. Also, excuse the mess in here. We just moved into a house that we're renting out, so we're still kind of unboxing things and getting things organized, so it's kind of a mess in here right now, but hopefully that'll get all cleaned out, and we'll have a little bit more room to work on things. That being said, let's go ahead and get this bracket all mocked up and mounted. Then it'll just be throwing it on the car and tapping into the wiring. Should be a pretty easy job. It shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so if you've never seen one of these, this is a rib nut tool. So basically, it's just a giant crimper. You have different size inserts based on the size rib nut you have. This is a M6 rib nut, so it'll take a M6 bolt. Thread this insert on the end until it's nice and snug. Then we'll put it in the hole and you just crimp it together, and that's it. Like so. And then you just crimp it down. And then you unscrew your adapter. And then if you can see it right down here, it crimped it to the back of the plastic. So now we have a threaded insert to throw a bolt in. Let's get this one done, and then we'll throw it back on the car and mount it up. Here it is, guys. It's all wired up and loomed up. I got one of the plastic wire looms. It's basically just like the factory wire loom, and it's all taped off. I got it all zip tied down, so it's looking real nice. So now all that's left to do is button this side up. Got to wire the other side up, so make a couple more pigtails and just crimp everything together, and then we'll be able to go ahead and test it out. So I'm gonna get that done real fast, and I'll see you in a few. There we are, guys. It's all done. It's looking good. It's all buttoned up, wired up. I'll go ahead and turn them on real fast, and we can see how they look. I think I have them aimed pretty good. We'll have to wait until tonight to actually try them out, but let's go ahead and turn them on real fast. It looks really good, and that should really help light output. So driving on the back roads, it'll throw some extra light out there. There's supposed to be a spot flood combo, so I should get a wide view, and then it should throw it a little bit farther than my stock headlights as well. My driver's side headlight actually ended up blowing. It didn't have anything to do with wiring or anything like that. It was just time to go. A couple weeks ago, the passenger one blew too. I could tell that they're really old and they're kind of corroded on the inside. So I'll have to go and pick up a new one of those. I'm going to be switching out anyways, so temporarily I'll probably just buy a cheap one just to make sure I have a headlight. But it's all done, and I'm very happy with the results. This bracket is a very super solid bracket. That being said, that's all I have for you today, so I'll see you in the next one.